number one broadcast for all University of Kentucky sports, the Loyal BBN Fan Show. And it starts right now.
Guys, what's going on, man? This is the Loyal BBN Fan Show. I'm your host, Mike. I got my recruiting expert with me, Jimmy Engler. Jimmy, how you doing today, man?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing great. Glad to be on here with you.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk to me. We're going to just talk, hey, the big thing right now is what's going on with Caleb Wilson. And I know you got the information. I know that he just narrowed it down to 5 schools. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, recently, last couple of days, he's brought it down to 5 different schools, including Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Central Florida. With those 5 teams, I believe that he has a chance of maybe going to any of those schools, and he could be just as productive at any school as he could be the other. It's just him sitting down, talking, watching film on these players, these teams, seeing how the players react to the coaches, and actually seeing how these players take criticism along with what the coaching staff is doing with the players for this year's team, and that he'll be able to know what he's coming in for next year.
I mean, and it's all about, you mentioned the criticism and the constructive criticism of that. These
Yes.
young kids, they want the red carpet laid out for them and all of that. So it's kind of like, tell me what I want to hear. But it's always good. So I guess my next question would be for you is what's the relationship? If you know, what's the relationship with Caleb and Coach Pope?
Far as I know, with what he is saying, I don't really talk to a lot of people real close to the program with this, but also with just his thoughts, comments, with his sit down with other sites and talking about his recruitment. He really has a pretty good relationship with Pope, along with, Hubert Davis said North Carolina, different coaches like that. I'm sure he has to have, if he's going to have a Final 5 schools, he's going to be real close to the coaching staff, the other, coaches along with the head coach. So I believe right now with Pope, it is him also just making sure that he stays in constant contact with him each day. Text him here, talk to him there, Zoom chats here. I believe that they really do have a good relationship, and I think it's just molding a little bit better every day with him seeing Pope's play, maybe seeing some practices, watching game film, and just sitting down and watching one of the ball games. Yeah.
Okay, so we speaking of the ball game. We kind of seen the tweets and we kind of know that he went to the ball game for Duke. What kind of impact do you think that might have, or could have on him, knowing that Coach Pope in year 1 went out and got that done?
Well, I think that's a real big impact. I don't know that he has been at any other game this year besides like the Kentucky Duke game, which was one of the biggest games of the year. I mean, really,
Absolutely.
there hasn't been any real big games with, North Carolina has played, Kansas, and but the Kentucky, him sitting in the Kentucky section and his dad and him watching the game is a pretty good indication of he does like the Cats very much.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, if you got a chance to go see Kentucky play like that and then they win, and it's just, this is all a testament of Coach Pope showing not only him but showing other recruits, showing the nation is, look, we didn't have a great first half, but guess what? I got knowledge of what to do, and I know how to fix things, and we know how to change things around going into the second half, and of course, with the new comment that Coach Spoke made, when it came out that he actually called that play of what Cooper Flagg was actually going to do when he was going to do the reverse. He called it, and it happened just as he said it would. And we ended up, that was a crucial moment in us being able to actually hold on to the game.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, boy, I really hope that he said that before that play happened and they just didn't put that in after the play had happened. But yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like, I mean, Pope knew that they was going to probably go to Cooper flag. And I watched that footage 3 or 4 times
I did
yesterday, and I was
too.
like, he spun around. We knew he was going to spin because he
Yep.
loves that hit. That is a play he goes to a lot. And
Yeah.
Ortega, he was off of his man because if you looked out under the 3 point line, there was number 7. 𝐀𝐫𝐭𝐒𝐜𝐢𝐞𝐳𝐜 was wide open.
Yeah.
All he had to do was shuffle pass out to him, and he would have had a wide open 3. Instead, he kept the ball, he turned it over, and Ortega went down and got fouled. But
And
he
hit both
also
shots.
had another, yeah, he had the option to get rid of the ball, but it just stayed in his hands. He
Stayed in
didn't,
his hand.
yeah,
He, he tried to do too much for the scouts, and it's so this is a so this is recruits don't know Coach Pope, but each ball game they're getting a chance to see a little bit more of what Coach Pope can do out there. And while I know we go back to the small board tonight, or and we get ready to play Lipscomb or whatever,
yes,
I still, and it's also I like what Brian Carter said when he was on the show with me. It's all about now. We beat Duke. Now can Coach Pope go out and coach his guys up so they don't come down and just have a game where they only win by 10, 11 points? Can they go out and can they hang 90 on Lipscomb just to be able to say, look, that wasn't a fluke. This is who we are. And, the recruits are watching.
yes. Tonight, I'll be looking very much to see, are we going to beat them? If we get our foots on their necks? Are we just going to keep it there and put them down from the beginning of the game, go all the
You
way
got to.
through? Let's just stomp on them and get it over with. Let's cruise to a 30-point win, and let's look for the next game this coming Saturday. But I mean, we've got a December where we have teams that we should end up winning and being 7-0 by the end of November, and then our first game in December is the big game against
Clemson.
Gonzaga.
Is it Gonzaga or is it Clemson first? For
I,
the SEC for the SEC ACC challenge, I have to go back and
well,
check that.
we play Clemson in the ACC challenge, so
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
might be before Gonzaga.
I think we played them. I think we do because we play them on December 3rd. So we actually
Yeah,
get that before. So I just think that this is a. I just think that this is a real testament of just everyone wanting to see you know, who is Coach Pope, and I think Coach Pope is making a. I think he's making an early impact. I got two questions for you. The first one is: Are we getting too many freshmen from next year class?
with 4, if we get Caleb, I believe he'll be in the fold, and we'll have 4 freshmen. I believe each year 3 or 4 is going to be the number that Pope is going to look for. I
Okay.
think if ever I knew that we was looking at a couple of other players and maybe having 5 this year. I think 5's a little bit too much, but I know
Yeah.
next year, we're going to have probably, if Caleb, along with Ortega and
Yeah.
Garrison, if that
Yeah.
something doesn't happen, them progress and just jump up and get onto the draft boards, I think we'll have 5 players coming back next year, along with 4 players coming in, and then he can go out and get 2 to 3. Probably 3 transfers, and he'll be able to sit back and look at all the transfers and pick and choose the ones that will fill the spots that he's going to need.
And one thing about that is if we do have a successful year, and a successful year doesn't necessarily mean we win the championship. I just think in year one, if we make it to the Elite Eight, and nobody gave this guy a chance, and first thing you always hear about, Coach Pope is, well, he ain't did anything. He goes, he goes to the March Madness and he loses in the first weekend to a lower CT, onto a team. So I think everything that really, I mean, we touched on this before, everything that he does up until March Madness and how far we get, I think that's going to speak volumes on who, even the transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? Guys will, hey man, I want to go to Kentucky. Like these guys are not the team that's been losing in the first round. These guys are legit. This guy can coach. I want to go play for him, even if only if I got 1 year left.
Yeah, I believe so. And it's like if he does have a successful year and we make it to the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, and these players, he'll have the four, including Caleb, that we hope that we're going to sign here soon. But all these, there's going to be a lot of freshmen that's going to be coming in. Is going to be maybe they made a mistake of not playing for Pope, and the seniors in high school next year is going to be, well, this might be a team that I need to look to, but a lot of it is going to be whether Pope wants you or not. He might be not. He might have 20 people knocking on the door, and he only wants 4 of them.
Yep, that's it. So, but that's the fun part of being at Kentucky, though, is that like just because you want to come to Kentucky doesn't mean you coming to Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like you got to be on a different level. And now with Coach Polk being so smart like he is, he can really hand pick his guys. If it gets to that point where he got all them people knocking on his door, then he can 100% for sure get to the point where nope, I don't want you, I don't want you, I want you, and he gets the right pieces to fit his system, and that's what's so good about it as well too. So he's not supposed to announce until end of November, December time. Is that true?
I have heard the November signing period is going on right now. I heard it could be towards, I know it could be towards maybe the end of November, the signing period. I've heard December. He said he does want to see some of the teams play and maybe see them play against better competition. Just see maybe 3-4 games of every team for the first part of the season, and then he can make a decision then. But I believe it's going to be right at the end of November, December. I mean, he could surprise us all and say, I'm going to commit in 2 weeks, from tomorrow. I really don't have any inside information on that. It's just what he is saying himself.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how much of a if he continues to wait longer, is that concerns for Kentucky, or like you said, he's just wanting to see other teams play a little bit before he makes a decision? Because in my eyes, the longer you wait to sign, then that means you got that much more opportunity for the other coaches and players and whoever else to get in your ear and maybe stop you from actually going with what you maybe thought that's what you wanted to do, and they give you a moment of pause.
Yeah, and I believe that Pope is probably going to have a little bit of influence on that. I believe he had a big influence on Wilson not even making his trip to Fayetteville, Arkansas this past weekend. I believe, I believe when he cut Arkansas from his list and went down to 5, I believe that was a big thing that Pope was really kind of pushing him. Hey, do you really want to do this, or do you want to go ahead and let's try to get this commitment closer to being done?
Absolutely. I mean, like, do you really want to go to Arkansas? Really? You might want to think about that, big guy.
Yeah.
So Arkansas over Kentucky? I don't know if you want to do that or not. So,
no.
So my final question is: out of the 5 teams that he has chosen, which 2 teams gives you the most concerns?
First of all, the number 1 team is North Carolina. I mean, they're top of the blue bloods. They are going to be a very great school. Hubert Davis has got a great program going on. He's going to continue that from what Roy Williams had in the past, and that's a team that is really going to be there. Their fans is not Kentucky fans, but they do travel. They do watch Carolina. They are one of the top teams that loves their team to death. I really believe that the 3rd team is up a toss up between Ohio State and Tennessee. I believe, I believe Tennessee is doing some good things, but I believe that his play is going to fit the style for North Carolina and Kentucky more than he would for Tennessee or Ohio State. But I believe that it's going to be coming down to Kentucky and North Carolina. I believe that's really the two schools, and I do not see anywhere else that he would plan on making any more visits or anything. I think it's just whenever his thought process is sitting there, and him and his dad are just sitting there, and he goes, "I'm ready to make a commitment because I just watched this team play, and I believe it's time to do it."
And that's why every single time a team goes out, that's why it's so crucial for each team to take care of business, because these recruits are watching. And it just takes, when you're running neck and neck with somebody, like Kentucky and North Carolina, we're running neck and neck. It's like, okay, I'm just looking for one team to crack. As soon as that one team cracks, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose this team. So, like, that's why every game, and winning that Duke game only helped us tremendously. Let's say, I hope it helps us tremendously. So, what's your odds of Caleb Wilson ending up at Kentucky?
I'm gonna go ahead and put my crystal ball in that he does pick Kentucky, but right now I'm 95% sure. I mean, there's always something can happen, but I'm my crystal ball is my pick is that he will be a Kentucky Wildcat.
I have to assume that that maybe Jasper or one of those guys maybe had something to do with that.
I believe. Well, Jasper's just right down the street from him. They're both in
Yeah,
Atlanta because that's
yeah,
where he's playing at Overtime Elite. So they
yeah,
get to ball together all the time. They can talk.
yeah, yeah,
They're right there beside each other, and I'm sure that he is talking along with Moreno, and he's talking, Caden. They are
yeah,
all on a group chat, and I
yeah.
believe all three of them are saying, "Hey, it's time. Go ahead.
It's time. Yeah,
Let's make that commitment. Let's get this done."
yeah. What are you waiting for, man? Come on,
Yeah,
like, let's do this. Like, come on, man. Stop procrastinating. So
yeah.
that's good. That's good stuff right there, man. So one thing about college basketball, man, is recruiting is 24/7, literally, and 365 days a year. It never stops. And I have people like Jimmy, who just keeps up with it, and like I applaud Jimmy for what he does, and JC as well too. JC he's gonna join us eventually. But I just like I appreciate what these guys do. Like it's like a craft. These guys just follow this and lose sleep and just every little thing. So I applaud Jimmy for coming on today. And we're gonna meet back up. We're gonna do more videos as well too as we get closer.
Mhm.
Also, so definitely, I definitely got my fingers crossed that he actually comes to Kentucky, signs with Kentucky sooner than later, which would be really really good if he can actually do that as well too. So hey, I appreciate you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the Loyal BBN Fan Show. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, guys, and look, we're gonna keep you updated with the recruiting stuff. Look, I don't talk recruiting very much, but these guys do. So, hey, I'll let them get on here and do what they do because they follow it, and I trust their insights for what they do. So, until next time, guys, this has been the Loyal BBN Fan Show. Check us out. Until next time, go Cats. We'll be back.
Go Cats.
I have to edit this. It's not even wanting to stop recording. I have to go in there. It's just stuck. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's right.